Hi. So today I want to talk about this. It's a thing I've been starting to use quite a lot lately in my spiritual work. This is Orgonite, and I see that my camera is really not picking it up. So let's see if we can go a bit closer. It's gorgeous. Now, let me first explain what Orgonite is. Orgonite is part of spiritual direction, you could sort of say. It's those that, if you hear the mention of quantum medicine, quantum energy, quantum healing, quantum this, quantum that, then organ, organ energy is part of that whole family. Doesn't mean that everybody that's into quantum energy is into organ, but it's within that family. Anyway, what organ is that it is an organic substance, like for example organic resin mixed with an inorganic substance, for example metal. Now, from an occult point of view, this makes a lot of sense, because you will have an energy flow between the organic materials and the inorganic materials. It's as simple as that. And as such, it will be a great way to generate energy. And this is worn in necklaces. It's made into shapes like, for example, that pyramid. Now, orgonite is organ, but with the added healing crystals. Like you see, this one has some rock crystals in there. Now, for me, I like working with this material because I feel that it's an extremely good energy generator. It's very good to get. For me, that works a lot with channeling and general energy manipulation. It is a great tool to get energy flowing. What I do not like about organ and orgonite is those that have these sort of quasi-scientific ideas about it. Now here's why. When they present it as science, when they present it as, oh, but it gets the tachyons flying here and there, which affects the atoms in such and such way, and so on and so on and so on and so on, then a lot of people who do not believe in the occult and do not believe in New Age and the spiritual general will go out and buy these things. And then they will figure out that there's nothing, no part of this which is part of the modern scientific model. So I'm not saying that this isn't real, because I have had I'm very pleased with this. I have had the effect of it. I can really feel the energy in it just by holding it. And I definitely think it works. I think this is real. But a lot of people do not believe in the occult. They don't believe in these things. And then presenting it as a science, that will just result in them buying something they don't really believe in, which again will give them ammunition to use against us by saying that New Agers, occultists, healers, and generally people on the more alternative side is just crooks. So I don't like the sciencey techno bubble. Just call it what it is. It's an energy generator. It's a way to affect the chi, life force, prana, whatever you want to call it. And it's great. I think it helps me sleep. It helps my work. It helps me get energy flowing faster. And some say it works also to negate the the harmful effects of radiation from TV screens and so on. I don't know about that, but when it comes to energy manipulation, I'm really happy about it. But I think that you should call it what it is. This is New Age. This is the occult. And trying to wrap it into this sort of idea that it's part of modern science doesn't really work. Now, I hope that one day science will embrace what we today call the occult. And I think that day will come. I think that one day children will learn healing and psychic abilities in school, because it's such a big and important part of our inheritance as human beings. And I think that eventually people will learn to accept these things as real. However, if you do not believe in that sort of thing, sort of trying to trick it in the back door isn't the way to go about it. Now, I'm sorry if I pissed some people off by saying that, but if you say that this thing and the effect it has is supported by modern school science, then please show me some scientific papers on it. Now, I hate to sound like those typical atheists, because I think there's a lot of things that can't be measured by the modern school science. It's just not possible. Like, for example, I think it's very difficult to measure psychic ability, because it's so affected by people around you that when you are in a setting where everybody disbelieves you, like or in a very sterile setting, like in a scientific tests, then that tends to be very detrimental to it working. And also it's magic, the use of psychic abilities and so on. It's an art. It can't always be done on command. It's very difficult to measure the spiritual with the very physical and materialistic methods that science has today. But so yes, I think these kinds of things will be a part of science one day. But we aren't there yet. And modern science do not recognize that if you mix organic resin, some metal shavings, and a crystal, that this will have any effect on your health, on your spiritual life, on anything. They don't recognize this as anything other than a paperweight. And I think that if they're going to come to view us as serious, and by us I mean everybody in the occult community, and I do include New Agers in the greater occult community, if they're going to view us as serious, then we have to accept that their terms and ours are very different, and that we can't try to sort of, it sounds very wrong when I put it that way, but trespass onto their domain in that way. I think that we should be very careful about claiming something being scientific without having proof of it, because many of these people already think we are crooks and insane, and giving them more ammunition isn't good. We should try to behave exemplary and not do things that can make us look like charlatans. So I think that yes, Orgonite should be celebrated. It's a great tool. And I've been completely crazy. I have bought this pyramid. I bought a smaller pyramid. I have bought a small pendant for my cell phone. And a necklace of Orgonite. And I bought 2 wands and a dowsing tool. 3 wands and a dowsing tool with orgone. I think it's Orgonite in those 2 because it's the healing crystals in it, so yes. So Orgonite. And I've been so pleased with it, and I just eating this up. I really love Orgonite. But I think we should be very careful about calling it scientific and try to sort of add some sort of quasi-science to it, because really, now we might think that this affects the tachyons and so on, but unless we can prove that, we can't put it in a way that says that school science, and by school I mean modern scientific community, the standard science, accept this. So no, I'm not saying that those that say these things about orgonite is wrong. They might be correct for all I know. It might affect tachyons, it might affect atoms, it might do all these things. But unless they can prove it, then they can't present it as a scientific fact. Call it what it is. It's an occult, and it's an occult tool and it's a new age tool, and as such it's extremely useful. But don't try to pass it off as science. At least not the modern science, because science is just a method. When I say don't try to pass it off as science, I mean don't try to pass it off as accepted by the typical modern scientific community. This is a new age tool and it's great. I really recommend Orgonite, though try to get it from a good dealer so you don't get ripped off. But yeah, I've been very happy with it, but it's new age, and you shouldn't be ashamed to call something new age, because there's nothing wrong with that. And before I end this video, just have one more look at this gorgeous pyramid. See the metal pieces floating in there, and it's just so pretty. I mean, I have this next to where I sit when I do about anything, when I read, when I watch TV, when I work with my computer. I have it right next to me, and I think it's really helped me. So yes, before I drag this video on too long, have a good night and blessed be.